My name is Carl Russell. I live in Bethel, Vermont at Earthwise Farm and Forest, and I'm utilizing an iPad mini in my business and on the farm, and I'm going to show some of the apps and some of the ways that I'm using it for our farm and my business. There are a lot of things on the iPad mini that can be used on an iPhone. I happen to use an iPad mini because a lot of what I'm doing has to do with mapping, and I like to have the extra real estate on the screen. But many of the apps that I'll show you are things that can be loaded on an iPhone. There's an app called Hour Keeper that I use regularly every day, keep track of because I do so many different things for different clients and for myself on the farm. I have different accounts that I keep track of different enterprises, and it's merely a timesheet. I'm right now I'm working for myself, working with the kids are at the house, so I can clock out of that and go back to clients, work on Earthwise Farm and Forest chores, clock in. When I'm done with chores, I clock out, move on to the next client. It's a great tool. It gives me invoices for people I'm working for, or it can show me reports by the week or by the month, quarter, year, breaking it down into the percentages of time that I work in different enterprises. It's great for budgeting and trying to figure out some of those where I spend my time. So then I have a wider range of arrangement of other applications that I use at different times. Geo Measure is an app that can be on an iPad mini or on an iPhone. This is one that requires connectivity. So if I'm in the field with a cellular connection, I can zero in on the location where I am. This is a map that you can use to measure area related to where you are, either by keeping track of where you walk, or you can make dots on the edge of a field if you wanted to be working on figuring out acreage for application of seed or fertilizer or something along those lines. Or I can change it from area to distance. So I'd have to clear this. I'd switch this to distance, and it's in miles now. I change that to feet. If I wanted to be considering building fence, I can mark this fence line here, and it'll tell me 608 feet along that line. One is called GPS Kit HD. This is primarily made for iPhone. This is a GPS unit that keeps track of waypoints where you're traveling for something, and this could be also to keep track of boundaries on fields or trails in the woods, or if you're tracing a water line that went across a field or down from one dwelling to another, you could trace it on the map. It would keep track of it. GIS is a geographic information system for the tablet, and this one is actually for drawing details on a map, but it has lists of layers that you can keep track of, or classes of different types of waypoints that you would want. But if I wanted to get forestry or geology, there's lots of other little icons that can be used to add on there. This ArcGIS is fairly powerful app that I had to pay for. With connectivity, I can access several atlases. The one that I use the most is one for the Vermont Agency of Natural Resources Atlas. I can go to the overview, to content, and then I can activate different layers. There's a lot of different layers in the Natural Resources Atlas. Waste management, a whole variety of things, then fish and wildlife, invasive plant inventories, rare, threatened, endangered, deer wintering yards. There won't be any here, but I can hit deer wintering yards, and then any mapped deer wintering yards will light up on here. I can turn on the soils layer, and the soils for this area will light up right away. So, and these are NRCS soil service codes for the soil, the mapping unit that's under here. Here I can actually turn on any tax map parcels that have been mapped. I have all of the boundaries of properties and local. So if this is the property I'm working on, then I can see where the property line is exactly. Even a farmer would, that's trying to decide what to do with a field, if they have direct access to the soils information right there in the field, it can be a real powerful tool.